That's it. I'm doing it. I figured it out, dude. I figured the whole thing out. I now know what my next thing's going to be. Listen, I've got so many things. I've got so many fucking things on the docket that I've got to do. Not only do I actually have to work every day, not only do I have to plan this podcast every week. I just closed my browser with all my notes in it. I gotta do weddings on the weekends, most weekend. Like tomorrow I have an event, okay? It's bad enough. It's bad enough that my undiagnosed ADHD, thanks Dad,
what are we doing?
Has gotten me to this point. It's bad enough that I have gotten to this point where I have 2 official LLC businesses. I pay my taxes, I think properly, fingers crossed. Like, I'm doing what I am supposed to do. I'm on basically my own. I have help, of course, business partners and salespeople and people who are here to support us along the way. Shout out to all of you. Couldn't have gotten here without you guys either. But as far as my ADHD goes, it is a miracle that I have made it thus far.
What are we doing?
And so with that, naturally, I'm constantly just being like, ooh, new business idea. Ooh, new podcast idea. Poof, new business. Poof, I want to start another business. Poof, I got an idea. Poof, I want to start a studio. Poof, I'm partnering with someone to open a studio. Poof, that may or may not be real. It's probably coming next year. It's happening. We might be closing on December 6th.
What are we doing?
But other than that, I have so many, I've got a full-fledged business idea for a whole, food truck, hot dog cart, Mama's homegrown sausages, burgers. We're going to have a taco, sloppy Joe kind of. And it's going to be all based around this proprietary secret sauce that I have now developed. And we have the recipe and it's down pat. I've got people in place. I've got previous business owners. I've got people who previously have owned hot dog / sausage businesses. Shout out to the Brat team. You know who you are. So there are things in place already. And if that wasn't bad enough, so now you can fully understand this. I'm just explaining how my brain works. I have a full long list of ADHD things that are already happening. 160 episodes of a podcast, 80 plus client business, 50 weddings a weekend every year business, legit shit that's actually happening. Then I've got shit that's in the middle that's gonna be happening on top of all that, but it's still kind of in the works. But we've got the people in place. We've got the business plans. We're working on the funding. One of them already has the funding. We've got a whole middle column of things that are already going. And then the ideas bubble. Right, the last column of the brain, the ideas bubble, that is just a never-ending circle of just things that I come up with, things that I think will be a good idea. Sometimes I run them past Megs to get a feel. Sometimes I run them past Paul to get a feel. They're like the devil and angel on my shoulder, you know what I mean? Sometimes I run them past Kodak to see how he feels. Sometimes you know what I mean? But sometimes these ideas, they come to me instantly. This new idea just came to me a mere, how long have we been in this now? 4 minutes ago.
What are we doing?
This came to me 4 minutes ago. Listen, to get excited and to get energized up and hyped up for the show, we always play a song or two in the studio. Obviously, I got to cut it out because they'll sue me instantly, take it down. Jimmy Fallon took down our fucking shit last week.
What are we doing?
F you, buddy. Listen, if Jimmy Fallon ever tries to take down one of my podcast episodes again, I'm driving 2 blocks down the street because he records a show right over there in New York City in my penthouse where I'm recording this podcast right now. And I'm going to have some words, okay? I'm going to have some words with Jimmy. If he tries to get my episode blocked again, we will be having words said with the team at the Jimmy Fallon show. And that includes me, my lawyers, the whole fucking kit and caboodle. We will come after Jimmy Fallon for everything he has.
What are we doing?
But that's besides the point. So we play the song, right? And this week's song was, of course, the classic hit banger that can be just a song for any occasion that you want to be excited for. Larger Than Life by the Backstreet Boys.
What are we doing?
And so, with that being said, we were jamming, and this idea, this epiphany, this new line item in my already long list of never-ending shit I signed myself up for.
What are we doing?
I now have an extreme passion, and trust me, in the midst of building a test kitchen / podcast studio, in the midst of attempting to open a hot dog cart, and in the midst of every freaking thing else I've got going on, mind you, a freaking 5-year-old boy who jumps off every single freaking wall.
What are we doing?
I've got the best idea. Okay, now listen, I know that you know, that I know, that we all know that every other podcast, okay, every other podcast has done a live show, right? All of your favorite podcasters, Trisha Paytas, Stiff Socks, you know what I mean, Trevor, the H3 does it sometimes. Tana Mojo and Brooke just got done a whole tour, like bringing your podcast into a theater / you know what I mean, like stage live show environment is like what the non-stand-up comedian podcasts are doing now to make more money and extra revenue and get in front of more people.
What are we doing?
And so I think it's a great idea. Listen, I mean, it's a great idea. I would, if there was a podcast that I listen to religiously, unfortunately, my go-to is TD, and he's just constantly on tour doing other things anyway. So not really makes sense to bring his podcast live, but someone like Tana Mojo, you know what I mean? You get to see her, that one-on-one. I'm pretty sure they had meet and greets. And I'm pretty sure one of her live shows this year was the direct connection to the entire cancellation of Cody Cup.
What are we doing?
So the Tana Mojo live experience, I mean, is something clearly I missed out on, and I'm hoping maybe they'll do it again soon, hopefully. You know what I mean? She just announced some big shit coming soon with Trisha Paytas, Tana Mojo, and Holly Madison from the Playboy Mansion.
What are we doing?
So it's happening. You know what I mean? They're working on it. So every podcast wants to do this whole live show. We're coming to theaters, town to town, meet and greets to make the money to see you in person, not just on the YouTubes, okay? The issue with that is I don't think just the podcast alone is enough to, you know what I mean? Like, no one's going to come to the theater to see just me.
What are we doing?
Like, now, I know I'll get 20. Oh, I could easily get 20 to 30. Tickets sold for just me on stage talking for an hour. Live podcast, we'll do a little Q&A, like Gary V style, Tana Mojo live experience with just me on stage with a microphone. I could get 20 to 30. Now, those 20 to 30, they're going to consist of Sandy Dunkel and all of her friends.
What are we doing?
It's going to be my family, close friends, people my employee. So basically, I'm paying them to be there anyways. So like, you know, I could get 20 to 30, but I would want more on the upwards of like 1 to 2 to 300. So I came up with this brand new idea now 10 minutes ago. Here it is. I don't know what the official name's going to be. I don't know. I think I'm just going to call it Got Talent.
What are we doing?
I think the official name of the live show, I think it's just going to be, or maybe we should call it, brainstorming. What are we doing with talent? What are we doing? Talent show, something. I don't know. We got to figure out the name, dude. If you have ideas, put a name in the comments below. And if I pick yours, I'll get you free tickets. You can be a judge. What it's basically going to be, I want it to be a talent show.
What are we doing?
I want to host my own talent show, okay? It's going to be like America's Got Talent style-esque. We will open auditions online first. We'll get video submissions of everyone who wants to be in the show. Well, then, of course, I'll have some of the best people from the industry, music. I know a few magicians we'll reach out to. We'll get the industry people to come in and like make it legit. So it's not biased. It's not just me picking the finalists. And then we'll have like the top 10, top 20 people come to a theater. I've already got like I've already got a place in mind, and I'm pretty sure they'll be down as soon as they hear the idea. I want to do that. And then we'll set up a table. It'll be me and like 2 or 3 other people. We'll be the judges. And then it'll be a live talent show. And then there'll be a live audience. They can cheer, they can boo, they can do whatever they want. We'll have buttons so we can hit a buzzer.
What are we doing?
We'll have it's gonna be an America's Got Talent ripoff, okay? But it's gonna be me. There'll be different shit. There's gonna be special guests, because it's my show. Because it is like it's gonna be a hybrid between like the podcast and me. So like I'm going to be the host. So obviously I'm going to come out and start the show with a whole dance routine, like a song and dance routine. And then we'll get into it. We'll do like 2 or 3 people's talents. And then like I'll come out, I'll do something else. Maybe I'll do some magic. Okay, we'll bring back the magic.
What are we doing?
Megs will be pissed, but she'll be there, so she'll get to see it. We just need Megs to approve. If Megs approves of the magic, I'll do magic, dude, okay? And then what else? We'll have I'll do a bunch of other stuff. We'll have surprise guests. I'll bring out surprise guests, so it'll be a combination of a live podcast, Kill Tony, and America's Got Talent.
What are we doing?
I don't think anyone's ever done it. I don't think anyone's ever done it, let alone ever done it and recorded it, let alone ever done it and made it. We'll have cameras, dude. We'll have cameras on and off the stage. We'll have cameras on the audience. We'll have microphones on this, dude. I think I can make this thing. I think I can make this big. I think I can make this a thing where we get a few hundred people to show up. Now listen. I'm not trying to blow the roofs off Madison Square Garden, Tony Hinchcliffe.
What are we doing?
I'm not there. But I'm certain, I think with the right talent and with the right people and the right kind of the set of tools, like I think we could make something happen. I'm going to call some people. Wow. What a freaking intro to an episode. Ladies and gentlemen, it's episode 166. I'm sorry. Daddy's on 60 mg's of Vi baby, so I'm cruising, okay? We took a couple puffs before the episode, and that Backstreet Boys song got me freaking hyped.
What are we doing?
And then my mind started spinning about the talent show, dude, and I think I want that to happen. But listen, let's get into it. If you haven't heard, if you've been under a rock, and I'm going to assume it's probably no one, I am pretty sure that everyone, at least in this country, let alone this continent, because the top and the bottoms, they're kind of laughing at us right now. The country on the bottom might not be laughing so much. But listen, it's the winner of the 2024 election has been decided, dude. And I am proud to say that the candidate that I voted for, Jill Stein, won.
What are we doing?
I thought, listen, if a female is going to win this election, if we are going to take the White House away from Donald Trump, it's going to, listen, Kamala, I'm like, listen, you've been in the White House for 4 years. Let's give someone else a shot. We voted for Jill. We stood behind her, dude. We stood behind Jill Stein all freaking year. I mean, from the debate to the fucking thing to the what happened, Megs? Donald Trump. It was Donald Trump. Donald Trump won, dude. Oh, let's effing.
What are we doing?
Listen, I didn't allow this to happen. You guys did. You all voted. I didn't vote for the man. You guys did. And this is it. We did it. We won. And I think, listen, there's conflicting results on both sides, but we are here to break it all down. We're here to tell you what's coming next, how we responded, how everything happened. And I mean, I think we've got a snippet of Donald Trump's acceptance speech as he is finding out. It was early in the morning, I think like 2:30 in the morning. Donald Trump finds out we get just enough votes. AP calls it that he is the winner of the 2024 election. Here's some audio from that speech. Let's take a listen.
Joe Biden is asleep. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce.
Oh, shit.
Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce.
Get it.
Dance party with Beyonce. Kamala.
Listen, I had to. You know? Wow, I must have hit the wrong button, but the songs, they just get me. They get me every time I hit my desk. I was dancing so hard. Listen, it's is how I think most sane people have reacted to the results of this election.
What are we doing?
You have some who are extremely upset to the point of tears. We have some who are extremely happy to just laugh in the face of those with the tears. And it's unfortunate we're probably going to be down this road, this weird middle gray area of, the result, like it's over, but like the results and those feelings are lingering for a lot of people. And so it's one of those situations where, a lot of people are happy and a lot of people are optimistic for the future. And so with that, I'm just hoping that Zaddy Trumpets does what every other politician pretty much ever decides to do, and that is lie directly to our faces on the campaign trail so he can get all of our votes to become president, and then once he's in the White House, he doesn't actually follow through on those promises.
What are we doing?
Because, listen, I understand that women's rights is a big topic, and we're not going to get into it on this podcast because of me and my gender and who I am, because there are better people to explain and talk about that, and we will leave that to them. But when it comes to Donald Trump and his potential plans of, eliminating the Department of Education.
What are we doing?
It's a hot topic in our house, especially for a son who, has a team of 19 people behind him on a daily basis at school because he's just a smidge of special needs. He's mildly autistic, just a smidge on the spectrum. And so we've got a few people that are backed by directly the federal Department of Education. And if that goes away, they go away. And if they go away, my son's education assumingly goes away. I don't understand it all, but that's been the topic of discussion in our household. So as you can see, there's plenty of emotions in this bubble of an atmosphere that we're in until we get to the road of January, where the torch is officially passed. And once that happens is when then I feel it is appropriate for everyone to start deciding how they feel about things, because that's when decisions are going to start being made. So for now, I think, hear me out on this one. Ready? For now, between now, November, what is it? November 8th. It is November 8th. Between now and December 31st. Now, let's say January 3rd. I'll give you a day back from work, January 3rd. November 8th to January 3rd. Let's forget about it, dude. Okay, look, let's forget about it. Look, out of sight, out of mind. Let's just forget about it for a moment, because you can't do anything yet. So let's relax. Let's take a deep breath. Everybody's alive. Our lives haven't changed. Our lives haven't changed from 3 months ago. Our rights, our abilities to function, our health, our reproduction, everything has been the same for the last 6 months. So let's just take a deep breath. Nothing's going away yet as far as education, or rights, or taxes, or whatever Donald Trump and RFK Jr. and Elon Musk have cooked up their sleeves. We still have a few months. So what I want everyone to do, for the sake of their mental health and and everything going on in the holiday, let's just take a deep breath. Let's focus on what actually matters, and that is Taylor Swift.
What are we doing?
Let's get back to what actually matters in this country, and it's Taylor freaking Swift, okay? We need to refocus. We need to refocus now, okay? Hey, center me in, zoom in, look at me now. Let's focus now on what really effing matters, and it's Taylor freaking Swift. I don't think that's her actual middle name.
What are we doing?
But for the purpose of this episode, it now is. She's temporarily going to be known as Taylor freaking Swift, TFS. You know what I'm talking about? Let's refocus. I need TMZ and Twitter feed updates every week that the Chiefs play. I need to know if she's going to be at the game. I need to know what she's going to be wearing. And I need to know who she's sitting beside and what drama Taylor Swift has stirred up between the other teammates' wives while in the box.
What are we doing?
I need to know if she's best friends with Mama Kelce still. I need to know if she's best friends with Jason's wife. I need to know if she's best friends with Patrick's wife. Like, what are the rumors? What are the rumblings? I need to see how many bracelets she has. Let's get back to Taylor Swift. She tried to distract us. She tried to reel us back in, okay? She tried to cover us all from the election. She gave us her Kamala endorsement, and then boom, bam, slam, chicken slam. She came flying back into the United States on her private jet and gave us two or three more Eras Tour cities concerts.
What are we doing?
And they were apparently the shit. They were huge. They were big. It was the end, the whole thing. And now we obviously have to just wait for the second Eras Tour. Of course, it's coming. And so, but that, she tried to shield us, but the freaking politics, it sucked us all back in. But now we can all just breathe. Let's all, please, for the sake of Mother Taylor Swift, for the sake of the Swifties and the community that we've built around her, let us all just breathe and just, be thankful that you can. Be thankful that you are breathing.
What are we doing?
Let's take it back to basics, folks. It's fine. Opinions from the left, opinions from the right, the middle, the Joe Rogans, the podcasters of the world. We've gotta just reel it back into reality. And I really need you all to just focus on whatever it is that Taylor Swift is doing today.
What are we doing?
Please? Can we please? Because we've got the Super Bowls coming up and we just need her to upstage Kendrick Lamar as much as possible. So if we can do everything we can do to refocus on Taylor Swift, that way the Kansas City Chiefs play better. That way they make it to the Super Bowl again. That way Taylor Swift makes it to the Super Bowl again. And that way we have a better chance of Drake upstaging Taylor Swift with Kendrick Lamar. It's a whole plan, okay? It's just a plan to get the Chiefs into the Super Bowl. I may or may not have bets on them right now. And so, but listen, with the refocusing, here's what we've got to realize. With the refocusing of Taylor Swift, we, of course, are headed into, and this is reason number 2 why I need everyone to just take a deep breath, maybe delete TikTok for a couple days. Hey, if you haven't done so already, delete Facebook off of your fucking phone.
What are we doing?
If you are of the age of 30 years old or older, I'm now talking to my friends. I am now talking to my entire family. I'm talking to your parents. If you are 30 years of age or about to be or older, my friends, if you were born after the year 1991, 1990? 1992, 1994. If you were born after the year 1994, listen the fuck up. Go to your iPhone right now. If you have an Android, fine. Keep the fucking Facebook app. I don't give a shit. But if you have an iPhone, fucking go to it right now and delete the Facebook app. Don't log in Safari. Don't fucking re-download it. Just delete the Facebook app. It's over. It's done. It's flooded. Your friends aren't interacting with your post anymore anyway.
What are we doing?
Let's be honest. The only likes that you have gotten on Facebook is not for your small business because guess what? Everyone fucking has one now. Not for your podcast because guess what? Everyone has one now and you've shared it for 166 weeks and they're sick of it and they don't actually give a shit because statistically, the people in your hometown are the last ones to fuck with you.
What are we doing?
So like you trying to get famous as a podcaster, rapper, singer, entertainer, content creator in your hometown and not the internet and the rest of the world, you're making a grave mistake and you got to branch out, folks. You got to stop worrying about what those 90 people you're friends with on Facebook think. Delete the app. How am I going to know what to do? You're not going to miss anything. Hey, you have a laptop, you have a work computer, great. Once a day, go to facebook.com on one of those, okay? Once a day, go to facebook.com on your laptop, your desktop, your work computer. Just take it off of the iPhone.
What are we doing?
It will improve your life significantly, and it will help you through this transition process to breathe and just enjoy the holiday season. Listen, the leaves are falling. We just got an extra hour of sleep, depending on where you live. And it's just the clocks roll back. And so it's that time of year. It's the time of giving and to be happy and to do all the fun that we're going to go see the Christmas lights. We're going to get the inflatables. Listen, I'm 99.9% sure that within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have a 25-foot tall inflatable Grinch in my front yard.
What are we doing?
It may or may not piss off the HOA to the extent to that I get a letter, but there is nothing in the handbook, and I haven't fucking read a single word of the HOA handbook, but I know for a fact that it says nothing about the height in which your Christmas decorations are allowed to be, just a simple fact that you're allowed to have them during the holiday season.
What are we doing?
And so buckle up, bitches, because I'm blowing 100 cubic inches of air into a 25-foot inflatable Grinch that will be as tall as this building I'm sitting in, and it's going to be the most glorious effing thing. Stand by for footage and HOA updates this holiday season. And if that's not a reason for you to be happy and excited, it's the holiday times, Thanksgiving's coming, it's probably like your son's first photo day at kindergarten, like let's forget a few things and let's just listen, let's relax, let's sit down. I've got an idea. Let's look at the slate for what's coming this holiday season on like Lifetime or the Hallmark channel. Okay, let's see because the Hallmark channel, Lifetime, they love putting out like 34 all brand new every year. Somehow they put all their production budget into 34 brand new freaking holiday films. And sometimes they get like B and C and D-list actors that we all kind of know. So we kind of want to watch them. This year, let's look at the trailer. This new movie is called, and this is what, from Lifetime? Yeah, this is called Christmas in the Spotlight. Let's take a look. We've got a 1-minute trailer. Okay, let's see what we can look forward to. And hey, this is listen, when this comes out, I'll tell you, when's it come out? When does it come out? When does it come out? November 23rd. On November 23rd, we've only got, what's that, like less than 2 weeks left, okay? And you can sit on the couch with your loved one, your wife, your husband, and you can watch this totally original story of a plot line for this movie called Christmas in the Spotlight.
You should ask her out.
Like I would have a chance with her. I'm Drew. They're big fans.
Am I supposed to know who he is?
He's the best receiver in the world.
Get his number.
It's her! It's her!
I want to see you again.
Dinner in a movie.
Like regular people.
Regular people, huh?
Don't screw this up.
I promise not to fall in love with you.
Hey, dude, the private jet?
What are we doing?
So for copyright purposes and we don't get strike, we can't just watch the whole thing full through. So we've got Drew, the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL.
What are we doing?
We've got the pop star with the shiny, sparkly mini skirt dress on stage with blonde hair, who also just so happens to have her own private jet. They're cute, they're together, but the only listen, so we don't get sued for intellectual property by Taylor Swift, let's put a kid into
What are we doing?
Travis Kelce doesn't have a kid, okay? So that's what'll make it real life instead of this blatant rip of Travis and Taylor. Now, you know for a fact, I would hope, would desperately hope that they showed them this. If Travis and Taylor did not get an early copy of this, like if their people somehow could not pull an early copy of this and they have to watch it live with all of us at 8 p.m. on November 23rd, I mean, hey, more power to them. I can't wait. We'll be doing a full movie review of Christmas in the Spotlight from the Lifetime channel on this podcast. Expect it come November 23rd.
What are we doing?
And just to look at the calendar to let you know exactly what day that is, it's probably going to be, I'll tell you exactly when our review is going to come out. If this comes out November 23rd, oh man, the day after we release the pod. It's either going to be a special edition on a Monday pod or probably November 29th. So on November 29th, you can expect our full-blown, probably 1 hour plus review of Christmas in the Spotlight. I can't wait. I'm making popcorn. I'm getting Megs. I'm cuddling up on the couch with her, and I'm loving her every moment of it because it's Taylor Swift trivia.
What are we doing?
Who he is?
He's the best receiver in the world.
Get his number.
It's her! It's her!
I want to see you again.
Dinner in a movie.
Like regular people.
Like regular people.
Like regular people, huh?
Don't screw this up.
I promise not to fall in love with you.
And I promise not to fall in love with you. The more I'm with you, the more I really like you.
I'm just with you for your fantastic body.
Do you think...
What are we doing?
Do you think... Hey, what sources does Lifetime have in the industry to get that line? I'm just into you for your fantastic body is 100% a line that Taylor Swift at one point in time has said to Travis Kelce.
What are we doing?
Like, come on, bro. Listen, we've gotta... This is an original Hollywood film.
What are we doing?
You guys, listen. No one wants to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey with me. No one wants to watch Pinocchio Off the Strings. No one wants to watch Sharknado. No one wants to watch an original Hollywood film with me anymore because Megs thinks they're all stupid. The original movies are what's keeping us going like this. This is an original idea, okay? A football player with a daughter who falls in love with a blonde pop star with a private jet, who doesn't want to fall in love, but inevitably happens because the dinner and just The sex is too good.
What are we doing?
And I promise not to fall in love with you. The more I'm with you.
Oh, and you know Kelce said that to her, by the way, too. At the very beginning of this relationship, there is no doubt in my mind I would put every single dollar in my bank account on this bet. And right now, it's a fucking lot.
What are we doing?
I would, we got a wedding to pay for. I would bet that freaking Travis Kelce at one point has also said this to Taylor Swift. I promise not to fall in love with you. And then next thing you know, they're on the floor of the Super Bowl stadium making out because they just won the fucking Super Bowl. So, you know what I mean?
What are we doing?
I really like you.
I'm just with you for your fantastic body.
I know we're trying to keep this a
Bunch of
secret.
nobodies.
I don't know if I can keep this up.
It was nice to feel like a normal girl dating a normal guy.
Neither of you are normal.
I don't care who's watching. A million people or nobody.
That's a
Are
lie.
we doing this?
Let's freaking go.
Let's freaking go!
Christmas in the Spotlight. Premieres Saturday, November 23rd at 8. Part of It's a Wonderful Lifetime.
Freaking go, dude.
What are we doing?
Let's freaking go. Let's go.
Saturday, November 23rd.
Let's go. When is it? Saturday, November 23rd, 8 o'clock Eastern. We're going to be, I mean, if anyone wants to come over, we're probably going to turn this into a view. I mean, I'll get the neighbors. We've got to have some Swifties in the circle here. This needs to be an event. This needs to be an event. This is going to be what gets us over the inevitable news of this past election.
What are we doing?
I think this movie on November 23rd, I think Lifetime has done it. I think they've really they knew, Lifetime knew that no matter what really the results of this election were going to be, half of the people, because that's essentially what we got. Trump got like 73 million. Kamala got 69 million. It was neck and neck, 47 to 51%. Like it was insanity. I mean, Trump came out the gate swinging, but that's besides the point.
What are we doing?
Lifetime knew that, like, listen, folks, in 2008, we had our first African-American, we had our first Black president, the man himself, freaking one of the greatest, the GOAT, Barack Obama, okay? And everyone thought that it was going to be the end of America as we knew it because the races were going to divide and it was going to be like the next, like 2008 was supposed to be a civil war because all of the people over there couldn't handle him being president. And so, of course, it was this weird divide in the country, but it wasn't. When it actually happened, we all actually kind of came together. And after about 2 days in office, we all kind of thought, shit, I think Obama might be like one of the best presidents of all time.
What are we doing?
So it was actually one of despite the 2008 market and economic crash, Obama came in and kind of pretty much cleaned up the entire economy just enough to get him elected a second term.
What are we doing?
And so at a time where we had a Black president and at a time where racism was so much definitely still alive in this country, it still is today, we as a country now in 2024 between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris could not be more divided still.
What are we doing?
There are two predominantly, I know Kamala obviously has ethnicity, but there are we had two, at a certain point in time, it was Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So we had two predominantly white straight males running for president in this country. And we could not have been more divided and more just split between ourselves, like in historic numbers.
What are we doing?
And so I think, I dare, and I say this boldly, what we need to do to get just kind of everyone over, every single person needs to log into someone's account. I'm sure it'll probably be free on their website. Just go to their website, lifetimemovies.com. I'm not sure if that's real or not. Just fucking Google it, dude. And we all need on November 23rd, we're going to watch this Taylor Swift, totally not Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce movie on Lifetime. And we're going to feel good. We're going to feel happy. And then I'm pretty sure that comes out on it's on a Saturday. And then guess what? Sunday, the Chiefs are probably going to play.
What are we doing?
A better way to be happy and to be excited about the inevitable future, okay? I mean, listen, the election, I hate to keep bringing it up, but 75,000 people, can you believe this? 75,000 people woke up on Tuesday, November 6th, just a couple of days ago, and said, I'm going to write in my vote, Haley Welch.
What are we doing?
I'm going to write in my vote, Hawk Tua.
What are we doing?
I'm going to write in my vote, 75,000 people said, talk to a podcast.
What are we doing?
I mean, talk about marketing. Talk about an incredible marketing scheme. Now, I'm calling election interference from Jake Paul.
What are we doing?
The stupid little video he made trying to claim that, like, Roe v. Wade getting overturned was the same thing as the draft recruiting male soldiers to war back in, like, the 1700s.
What are we doing?
I don't know, dude, but all I'm saying is Jake Paul, 75,000 votes for Hawk Tua seems a bit suspicious and seems like a marketing move that Jake Paul and his goons over at the Better Network would attempt to do. Like put out a message on the private Discord, on the Patreon or whatever, on the lowgang.com, Cloud 10 meetup website. I don't know what the fuck.
What are we doing?
But to have 75,000, like they sent it out to 200,000, and thank God for the number. 75,000 people voted for Hawk Tua for president. And I mean, hey, she almost got as much as like the other independents. So like I'm calling for his immediate arrest. Jake Paul, election interference. I want to recount.
What are we doing?
I want to recount. I want to revote right now. These 75,000 Hawk Tua votes, it all needs to be redone, the whole thing. I'm calling a mistrial on the whole fucking thing. Listen, I'm saying, Jake Paul, arrest him.
What are we doing?
Oh, listen, hey, here's something on a more lighter note. This, for those of you who don't know, this nostalgia kick that this Podco Christy Carlson Romano.
What are we doing?
Company, her and her husband a few years ago. For those of you who don't know, Christy Carlson Romano, you know, she's the voice of Kim Possible. She's on Even Stevens, Disney Channel star. I think they tried to give her a music career, but it didn't work. So she didn't become like the Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez. She didn't become that level of a Disney female star, okay?
What are we doing?
And so early, like during COVID, I think, 2020, I think it was, 2021, she started making these forest videos of her hiking. And she was talking about like where all her money went from Disney, why she doesn't talk to Shia LaBeouf, friends in the industry, how Hollywood work, and this little mini series of her walking through the woods, poor cameraman having to walk backwards for 30 minutes straight while she explains how herself and her parents and everyone else that she knows spent all of her fucking Disney money.
What are we doing?
So they went viral. And so off of this virality, she thought, wow, look at me, the Disney star, the nostalgia, they love me still. What if we brought all of the nostalgia that hasn't been brought back to the podcast realm, because these kids aren't doing anything. It's COVID. They're not hired. They're not working. Let's bring back the non-rebooted shows in effort to get eyeballs of the fans, aka me and you, us. We all watched them. We all watched Even Stevens, Ned's Declassified, School Survival Guide, Wizards of Waverly Place, okay? Pretty Little Liars. Like, we all watched those shows growing up as young teenagers, of course. Like, so we all grew up with the Disney Channel, so why not capture us and then not only capture the attention of the big studios. Holy shit, look at this nostalgia of Ned's Declassified. Look at this nostalgia of Wizards of Waverly Place. Look at the nostalgia of all these shows that's getting all these millions of views and eyeballs on social media at launch. So now we can pitch around new shows and redos and reboots for shows that haven't gotten them. And with CCR, Chrissy Carlson Romano, we're going to call her CCR because her name's too long.
What are we doing?
The name's too long. Change it. CCR. So CCR says when they inevitably get those deals and when they inevitably get those reboots, we're going to be there as their power of attorney, their reason that they got the reboot in the first place. We want a percentage.
What are we doing?
And so I'm assuming that was the business model. So we kick it off with the Wizards of Waverly Place. We kick it off with Ned's Declassified. And out the gate swinging, these are coming in hot, okay? Everyone's like, holy shit, Ned's Declassified. I loved it. It was a great show when it was on.
What are we doing?
So these three now adults, Devin, Lindsay, and what's his freaking name? The poor man. I forget his name every time. Devin, Lindsay, and Curtis. Our buddy Curtis. So Devin, Lindsay, and Curtis, the three main cast members as Ned, Cookie, and Mose, I think were their names, on the Ned's Declassified, I think Nickelodeon show, come together for this podcast. It gets 1 million views out the gate. Podco's behind it. It's Chrissy Carlson Romano. It's such a
What are we doing?
And so we're swinging. We're swinging out the gates. Ned's Declassified's doing great. So we're going to start Wizards. We're going to start Pretty Little Liars. We're going to start all the shows that we want to get rebooted, a podcast. And we're going to bring back some of the cast members, some of the people who were involved in the show to host them. Now, CCR also has a few other podcasts of her own that she does, of course, and her own YouTube channel. So that was all now being ran through this nostalgia podcasting company network that they called Podco. And for a while, it was great because the format of the show is like every other nostalgia rewatch show. Jenna Fisher and the Office Girls watch through podcasts.
What are we doing?
They watch every episode and then they come podcast about it and they give us behind the scenes and what they were feeling that day. And it's the same stupid format over and over and over again. And so the issue is, with these Nickelodeon shows, what we don't remember as children, because Nick just reran them every freaking day for years and years and years and years and years and years and years on end.
What are we doing?
And what we didn't realize as children is that most of these shows, Zoe 101, Ned's Declassified, Wizard, they only actually ever had 2 to 3, sometimes if they got lucky, 4 actual seasons.
What are we doing?
And so, with that said, it only takes, and the season, maybe sometimes 10, sometimes 20 episodes, depending on the network and how much they ordered. It's only going to take us a year to episode 50 to 60 to episode 100 until we're out of episodes to review.
What are we doing?
So naturally, what all of these review and TV podcasts are realizing is we have now got to recapture the audience and do a slight rebrand of the podcast, and it may or may not work because you can't just stop. They've got advertisers, they got sponsors, they got to keep Podco's lights on. We've got people to pay. I'm sure CCR has a hefty salary. I'm sure her husband also requires money monthly.
What are we doing?
And so, we got to pay the host, we got to pay the people, we got to pay production and the servers and the hosting and the cost. It's a lot to run a studio, okay? I'm in the midst of building my own. I'm in the midst of partnering. I know what it's going to take, and that's why we're starting small. We're doing it the right way. We're not going all out. We're doing it the financially right way because of this situation with Podco and what we've seen so many time again is these podcast networks, they get big, and then the energy and the audience kind of doesn't really vibe with what's going on for the long run, because let's face it, we all have 800 podcasts to listen to on a weekly basis, and it's impossible to get to them all, let alone mine, let alone Joe Rogan, because he's just hitting them out the park with guest after guest after guest after guest after guest.
What are we doing?
Let alone every other podcast on the planet. And so when the decision of Ned's Declassified and Devin and Lindsay and I forgot his fucking name again, Cookie. I'm just going to call him Cookie Dude because that was his name on the show. Their decision to pivot once they were done with the Ned's Declassified episodes, aka the show that was made for children.
What are we doing?
They decided that it was smart to pivot to adult things and try to talk us through some of what they experienced as growing up as adults, aka every episode ended up with basically Lindsay and Devin talking about how they were making out in the trailers.
What are we doing?
How Lindsay was giving him blowjobs on set, how Lindsay ran through the rest of the crew before she got to Devin, how basically Lindsay Shaw was just a horned up teenage girl going through puberty, ready just to suck and make out with any face or other body part of pretty much any boy she could get her hands on from set.
What are we doing?
And those conversations were kind of getting a little awkward. One, because we didn't want to hear them. Two, because I don't think Devin ever wanted them to get out. Three, because it looked like Lindsay was genuinely enjoying telling these disgusting, kind of inappropriate, kind of shit that we don't really give it. Like, we don't want to know that, like, the cast of Miley Cyrus was all sucking each other off in the trailers while they were filming.
What are we doing?
Like, we don't need to know that. Like, Hannah Montana and, like, Oliver Fred. Like, we don't... Yeah, we get it. Shit happened, but, like, that's not what we're tuning in for week to week. We want to know what your lives are like now. We want to know what's going on with the reboot. We want to know behind the scenes. We don't really... We get it. Lindsay, she needed attention, and we know through now her past and her history of drugs and things, and it's just like, so the ultimate goal of starting these podcasts was for them to get the shows rebooted. And when the Wizards of Waverly Place podcast started at Podco, and then I don't know 100%, you guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, if the Wizards of Waverly Place is that reboot because it's now like beyond Waverly Place. They just launched it on Disney Plus, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that reboot necessarily has anything to do with the podcast, but I'm sure it helps.
What are we doing?
In some way. I am sure the executives who made the decision to reboot Wizards of Waverly Place are fully aware of the Podco Wizards of Waverly Place nostalgia podcast with like two of the people who we really didn't give a shit about. Selena Gomez was not involved with the podcast at all.
What are we doing?
So it, just weird. But basically, so when that happened, it set off this series of events. And I mean, of course, they're kind of semi-cancellation, like when the whole Nickelodeon documentary Quiet on the Set came out about Dan Schneider, the Ned's kids were on live making fun of Drake and like laughing at the whole situation. So that was kind of gross and disgusting. Their apology for that was clearly scripted and just like Podco trying to do cleanup and damage control. And so with all of that, and with on top of Disney and Nickelodeon bringing back all of the other shows that people love and cared about as kids, we've got none other than Lindsay Shaw once again pleading her case for what no one other than her and what she is convinced now Devin and Cookie to like just go along with is a Ned's Declassified reboot. And they are dying on this hill in the sense of we're crying were crying on Instagram. Listen to this, dude. Listen to what she says. Listen to this. Listen.
Spider-Man can be remade 437.
Start over. Listen to what she says. Spider-Man. She says Spider-Man. I don't understand why I don't have
37,008.
I don't understand why I don't have controls here, but what she's saying is she starts off by saying she doesn't understand how Spider-Man can be rebooted 497 million times.
What are we doing?
Right? Spider-Man is what she's talking. Listen to this.
896 times, and Ned's Declassified can't even get reboot once. Not even reboot once for a crappy TV movie. Just let us have a crappy TV movie.
Look at how disgusting.
What are we doing?
Not taking the news well. So, and this upload has also come on the cuffs. I don't know if she dropped this clip before or immediately after Podco dropping the Ned's Declassified and the Pretty Little Liars, which she hosts as well, Lindsay, podcast from the network.
What are we doing?
Now, we'll get to that news more in a minute, but I mean, her just cackling.
I just don't understand how Spider-Man can be remade 437,896 times. And
because it's a fucking $1 billion fucking franchise, bitch. Like, look up the cost. How much is the Spider-Man franchise worth? Marvel Cinematic Universe, $29 billion.
What are we doing?
Spider-Man, $29 billion. From the toys, to the movies, to the TV shows, the animated series, the everything, the comic books, not every single thing that they do for Spider-Man, except when Sony has control.
What are we doing?
Has contributed to a $30 billion, and that's pretty much an Elon Musk equivalent to a franchise. Ned's Declassified has made a grand total of $35,000 since it's aired. Spider-Man 1 featuring Tobey Maguire has made a grand total of like $90 million since it's aired.
What are we doing?
You stupid drug addict of a girl. Look at how she is on the edge. She is on the edge, and I'm not talking Lady Gaga edge of glory. Listen, Devin and Cookie, I apologize. I keep forgetting your name, but you two need to run. Run right now.
What are we doing?
Ned's Declassified can't even get reboot once. Not even reboot once for a crappy TV movie.
Because the minute they give you the crappy TV movie, bitch, they're going to give you the offer of $30,000.
What are we doing?
Because that's how much you're worth. Because they know if they give you any more than 30 grand, you're going to shoot it up your arm, you're not going to show up to set, and you're going to be a PR fucking nightmare.
What are we doing?
Because you do this shit. Why do you think Podco dropped you? So last week, a few weeks ago, Podco deletes their entire Instagram, gets rid of all their podcasts, drops them all, and the Ned's Declassified crew comes out and says, hey, we're on our own. We'll be back soon. We don't know when, but basically it's probably just going to become a Zoom podcast that no one fucking watches because, let's be honest, what money do these kids have?
What are we doing?
Listen, no one wants a Ned's Declassified reboot. Stop trying to make that happen. If you guys were serious about getting a new show, if you were serious about getting on Netflix or doing something with Nickelodeon again, the first step in that process is to break yourselves away from Lindsay effing Shaw. Get her out, get her done, get her blocked.
What are we doing?
And then, whether you stay by yourself or go off with Cookie or not, take him with you because putting him through the awkwardness of having to hear every fucking week about how Lindsay sucked you off in the trailer and you didn't come that one time and she was embarrassed. Putting this man through the ringer for a Ned's Declassified fucking series no one asked
What are we doing?
Do something else. Pitch them anything else. Go to ChatGPT, tell them, write out, just talk to it for 20 minutes. You can do that now from your phone. Say who you are, what you do, why you're doing it, why you're here, and tell ChatGPT to write you a script and tell it to edit it 500 fucking times until it's perfect.
What are we doing?
Until you get someone to say yes. Stop bitching on Instagram. Stop and just leave Lindsay alone. Leave her alone. She is bad. Bad news bears for the brand. Bad news bears for the brand. Bad brand, bad bears news is what she is. It's written all over her face, and it will never effing stop.
What are we doing?
Listen, I came up with the ultimate bit, and then we're going to get out of here. I came up with the ultimate bit for Megs, and she already has threatened me sleeping on the couch and divorce, and we're not even married yet.
What are we doing?
So for those of you who don't know, I feel like I have brought the Costco guys to the faces of so many people. Every time I talk about the Costco guys to Paul, to Megs, my friends, Justin, no one knows who they are.
What are we doing?
It's so fascinating that every time I send a clip of me talking about AJ and Big Justice to any of my people, they're like, who the fuck? What is this? I don't know what this is. Why are we laughing? Like, what is this, Levi?
What are we doing?
They thought I found some like unknown father-dad duo that no one's ever fucking heard of. I can't even begin to tell you how absolutely hilarious it is that these people, this family, this little boy, Big Justice, not so little anymore, Big Justice, has millions of followers on TikTok and sponsors and is on Jimmy Fallon, just telling Jimmy how much he loves his dad and working with his whole family, getting homeschooled. It's fantastic. He was on the FaZe Rug podcast.
What are we doing?
It's a dream come true for Big Justice, okay? But unfortunately, half the people, they don't even know who he is. So I've been hitting Megs with a boom all week long just to piss her off. Every time I do it, it pisses her the fuck off.
What are we doing?
And so the other day, I came up with this bit because not only does Megs not know, well, she now knows, but she didn't know who the Costco guys were. She has no idea what their bits are, the shtick, the whole fucking thing. I've only showed her like one video of them, and then she was over it. She has no idea, Megs, as of last night, had no idea what the boom meter was.
What are we doing?
And for those of you who missed Jimmy Fallon, the boom meter, if something's crap or just disgusting or we don't like it at all, it's like a 0 to 1 big boom. And then if it's great, fantastic, like a chicken bake or a Chubble Chug chocolate cookie.
What are we doing?
It, of course, gets 5 big booms. And then the bit is the number of booms. You then go boom, boom, boom. If it's 3 booms, you go boom, boom, boom. So last night, listen to this. We're sitting there. We're watching, I think we were just watching The Price is Right, like a throwaway show, just trying to eat dinner, get to bed early, the kid, whatever. It was a late day. And I go, Megs, we had tacos last night. Delicious because I've perfected the taco.
What are we doing?
Don't fight me on it. We can argue about it another day, but it'll be a debate one day on this channel. It'll be the great taco debate. But I'm pretty sure I perfected it, so it's fine. And so we were eating tacos, and I said, Megs, how would you rate your tacos tonight on a scale of like 1 to 5? 1 being not so good, 5 being the best damn tacos you ever had.
What are we doing?
And she goes, well, sweetheart, considering they taste the exact same way they have the last 800 times you've made them this year in total.
What are we doing?
Because I make tacos like 3 times a week. We eat the same 3 meals every 3 days because we're millennials and we don't know any better. And like, it's the same 6 recipes that we just in and out. Spaghetti, pizza, tacos, pot roast, soup, chili, and like chicken wrap salads, variants of that, whatever we can do with the chicken. We'll just put different sides with it. The sides then stay the same, and then we'll swap out chicken for like honey baked ham or whatever. But it's the same 6 things every fucking night for dinner.
What are we doing?
And so she's like, well, honey, yeah, it's 5. I guess I'll rate it 5. 5. They're great. They're tacos. Why are we rating the tacos? She says. And then without skipping a beat, Meg says 5. She says she rated it 5. I go, that's right, everybody. Meg's just gave my tacos 5 big booms. Boom.
What are we doing?
Boom, boom, boom.
What are we doing?
And she looked me dead in the eye and she said, do not come to bed tonight. You may not sleep on the couch in the studio. You are sleeping on the uncomfortable couch in the living room. I don't want to see you for 2 weeks. And so naturally I said, hey, honey.
What are we doing?
That's just phase 1. Meg's was phase 1 of the bit. Phase 2, cookie night with my family. They're not going to suspect a thing. Because if Meg's doesn't know about the Costco guys, Sandy Dunkel doesn't know about the Costco guys. So, and she's probably not going to see this part of the podcast anyways. So as soon as family Christmas cookie night comes along, it's a mouthful. I know, I got to change the name. It's too long.
What are we doing?
FCC, Family Christmas Cookie Night. FCCN, got it. The FCCN is going to come along, and as soon as Sandy takes a bite, I'm going to ask her what she rates it on a 1 to 5, and depending on what number she says, I'm going to give her booms, and Megs is going to give me a death stare from across the room. And then the final chess move of the bit, and I'm only saying it now because I know they're going to inevitably forget. Come our wedding day, Megs and I, we're getting married sometime during the summertime. We're getting married, and I'm going to go up to my brand fucking new mother-in-law, okay? She's been waiting for this for 15 years. Half of our lives, Megs and I have been together, okay? We're fucking high school sweethearts. It's the American dream.
What are we doing?
Ultimate Love Story, Taylor Swift. Shout out to you. You should come to our wedding and perform the song Love Story, Taylor Swift, because it's the fucking ultimate love story. Shout out to you and Travis. You know what I mean? I'm watching the movie on November 23rd. Taylor Swift. Half our lives we've been waiting for this, so I'm going up. I'm going right up to my brand new in-laws, specifically my mother-in-law, because she deserves nothing but the best.
What are we doing?
And I'm going to ask her, hey, what do you think? How would you rate this wedding? This wedding that I paid for. This wedding that I single-handedly sweated and bled for. Literally, I got cut with glass at last week's wedding. I've literally sweated and bleeded for this wedding to be able to afford it.
What are we doing?
How do you guys, as my new mother and father-in-law, this beautiful place we're at, all this, the food, the occasion, your daughter, she's beautiful in the dress. How would you rate this wedding on a scale of 1 to 5? And as soon as they drop a number, I'm shouting from the rooftop of my presidential penthouse suite that I'm paying top dollar for because it's Meg's, dude, and she's the love of my fucking life, and she's worth every goddamn penny. We're partying on the roof.
What are we doing?
And whatever number they give me, I'm hitting them with 5 big booms. And if Megs doesn't divorce me right then and there, it's not real life, dude. We're out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Levi McCurdy. I hope you enjoyed this fantastic episode this week, episode 166. I feel great about it, and I haven't even stopped it yet. I'm still on it, babes. Let's go. Listen, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys are still sticking with me. And if you're sticking around and you're not feeling that great, whether it's the economy, your life, you got fired from your job, the election, your relationship, your kid, or whatever, something happened, they're getting bullied in school, whatever the situation may be that's bringing you down just a few notches.
What are we doing?
Just please, 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 please remember to just take a deep breath, smile, take a sip of water, and realize that in the end, everything is going to be okay. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you later.
What are we doing?